Talk of the Town, brought to you by CUPE.
Welcome to Talk of the Town. We have a great show for you today. Lots of music and theater. We're joined right now by the fabulous Amy Matysio and Daniel Arnold. And you're here to talk about this show that everybody's talking about, that the Golden Apple's running right now, Venus and Fur. And they're, Tell me a little bit about this show. It's a unique show.
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's called Venus and Furs by David Ives, a famous American playwright. And this show was it was done on Broadway a couple of years ago, won a Tony and a Drama Desk Award, and it went very well. It's a two-hander, only two people in it, and it's a comedic, erotic thriller, I would say, about a playwright slash director, that's me, who's auditioning for his play, and this girl, Vonda, crazy, weird girl, shows up to crashes the auditions,
weird,
basically.
That's what you've never described as weird yet.
Well, you've been playing her a little more weirdly, and she shows up basically and wants to audition, and he lets her audition, and as they read the play, the power dynamics between them are also mirrored in the play, and the play itself that he's auditioning for is based on an old German novel called Venus in Furs. It's an old S&M novel. So a lot of the play has to do with dominance and submission, sexual kind of power struggles, and in the it kind of ends up being almost a bit of a feminist play in a sense. So it's like funny, smart, visceral, but also has some meaning to it as well. I love it. I think it's an awesome play. So I'm very happy to be doing it.
You're saying that the show is part of the novel is part of the show. Do they meld? They end up melding together, the two?
Yeah, I mean the play becomes a play within a play as the audition starts to happen. They end up doing scenes from the play together. Thomas, the director, starts becoming the reader and allows her to audition. So we start seeing scenes from his play that he's adapted from the novel. But what also ends up happening is we figure out that she has some knowledge of the novel herself, which she didn't let on at the beginning. So then we start to talk about what actually comes from the novel, what comes from the play, and what Thomas himself has concocted as sort of his view on what the novel might really be about, which seems really confusing, but as it all starts to unfold, you can sort of see where it's going, and the lines begin to blur, and it's, everyone's opinion. You need someone else to sort of back your opinion up, and as strong as it goes, it's sort of this great cat and mouse dynamic throughout this 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes. We don't leave the stage, and it's actually in real time. So the audience experiences,
no blackouts. It's a roller coaster that we go on together, and the audience goes on with us. No breaks. The focus that we have to have between each other is just we can't let the ball drop ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
what's it like to do a show like that? It must be intense. Yeah.
I mean, the show's really intense. That has, as we've talked about, there is some sort of sexual chemistry, sexual content within the show. Obviously, dealing with the play within the play. And towing that line sort of requires a lot of focus and commitment and sort of confidence to the work itself. But the language is really dense and beautiful, and there's so many words in this play. That's another thing about the show, is that to sort of enact the play within the play, but also keep the contemporary side going, we're doing two styles of theater at the same time, which is really great for an audience to be able to see that. But as far as focus, it does require, I just said on Saturday after our closing last week I guess, I've never actually been in a show that requires a two-hander that requires this much pointed focus. That you can't for a second have a, what will my drink be after the show thought. It does not, there's no room.
Because you lose one of the characters.
Yeah, well, you just, it's just, once you're on the train, you don't get off, and which is really exciting for the audience. I think it's an incredible experience for them to see this play.
What's it for you? Is it exciting, or is it terrifying, or is it stressful?
All of it. It's terrifyingly fun. It really keeps me on my toes as a performer, and requires kind of a different side to me as someone. I mean, I myself have never sort of thought about S&M or what that really even means in my world, and even just costume shopping opened me up to an
Right.
entirely new experience.
Right.
And that was really, actually really cool. And I loved the information that I was willingly given every time I went into a new S&M shop. Actually, in Toronto is where we sourced a lot of the pieces. And it was really fun to sort of do that. And I think it's been a great challenge for me. So I feel really fortunate to be doing it, and especially to be doing it with Daniel.
Exhilarating. I find it really exhilarating. I write as well, like she does too, and I've done a couple shows before now that are two-handers, that you're on stage the whole time, and you go on that roller coaster, and it doesn't end until the final blackout. And I really like them. There's something really, they're very tiring, but it's exhilarating. There's no sense of like, oh, now I go off stage and I take a break and I, you know, have a glass of water or something. No, you're just there the whole time. I really like it. It's like, it's a physical kind of mental, it's almost like a workout, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
And the chemistry is really important in the show. How was that? How did you develop that? I mean, you always have to have the right characters to be able to develop it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we know each other.
Yeah, we've worked together a few times. Yeah.
I made a feature film called Lawrence and Holloman last year or so, and we hired her to be in it. So that's when I first met her, and then we both got hired to go out to this program in Banff at the Banff Center, and that's when we sort of got to know each other more, and kind of just clicked, as we could tell. We both created work and stuff, so we kind of clicked in that sense. And
I think, and you know, when when we were Golden Apple was, I have been a part of Venus, and when Golden Apple sort of got the rights. And I guess a year ago they asked me to do the show, and so sort of when they were casting for the other male role, and Jim Guido, our director, had also heard of Daniel's work before, and when Daniel's name came up, to me it was sort of like a perfect marriage of this kind of character. The role of Thomas is a very tricky male role, because it does require so many facets of also this man, but this very also vulnerable sort of.
And it's a period piece, so he needs to command language, and then he ends up at some time becoming a bit of a woman, and so I don't know.
But I mean, as far as Daniel,
lots of fun.
Yeah, our chemistry, it's just been fun because we have fun together, and we can have a laugh together, and also sort of break that down when things get too dramatic or too hard or too have to be sexy times now. We can be good about giving each other that respect, but also having fun. And I mean, I think we're both just really dedicated to giving the audience the experience that the show requires. And so we're lucky to, you know, be friends in that journey together too.
Wow, sounds like a fabulous show.
Yeah.
So tell me when it's playing and where?
Tuesday to Saturdays at the Artesian on 13th. Tickets, you can get them at goldenappletheater.com. Tuesday night tonight, we have a Pay What You Can, which is really great. And
that's Tuesday the 11th.
Yeah.
And that's for the Actors Fund, right?
That's proceeds go to the Actors Fund of Canada. And next Tuesday, which is the 18th, proceeds will be going to the Canadian Cancer Society. So half of the ticket sales from that night. So yeah, Tuesday to Saturday, 8 p.m. every night.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Persona Tori.